Welcome back to Star Trek Online Academy with Oldbob 10025. In our last episode, we actually talked about the kits and how they work and generalization what they are. Later on, I'll go into more detail with a more about 30-minute episode about exactly what you can get, what you can do, and everything, but we're going to go off from there. Next, we're going to get to ground operations and basically what the different types of things that you need to know about, where to go put different things and what they are and everything else. So when we first started, we got our little kit, we right-clicked it, and actually came out with some armor and some weapons. So the first things first is we have some armor. Armor is basically going to give you kinetic damage resistance and energy damage resistance. Kinetic is anything physical like explosions, being hit by a missile, being hit by a machine gun, that type of stuff. And then energy is any type of pulse weapons, phasers, like disruptor bolts and everything else. So that's basically how those work. Then also the guns. Now there's like I said before in the last episode, there's uncommon, rare, the very rare, ultra rare, and then epic items. Now the uncommon is going to be green, the rare is going to be blue, the very rare is going to be purple, ultra rare is going to kind of be like a bluish and a purple, and the epic will be gold items. And then common items are always going to be white. So when you get your weapons and everything else, you kind of figure out like what you want to do. Now the DPS is damage per second, 45.4. It does phaser damage times 2, 5% chance. You have to go stun, half against a player if you do PvP. It gives a negative 50% run speed when you use a phaser, and it has a chance to knock back the person 5 meters. On the second setting, has a cone. So the cone does up to 3 targets, 5% chance of stun, 50% run speed, and 2.5% to give a knockback plus 5 meters. So when you pick your weapons, you have 2 different slots for a character. So right now we have the phaser sniper rifle, but I want to get the better one, which is the uncommon one. So I'm going to put that in my slot right there. And every time you get an item that's new, that hasn't been bound, it says account bound on equip. Every time you get that, you can either sell it into the exchange, kind of like the stock market or the auction house, basically in like fantasy terms. You can sell it into the exchange or give it to your characters. Now, if it says account bound on equip, and you try to equip it, it's going to give this. Are you sure you want to do this? You will not be able to trade it. Now, when it's not account bound, which is your character itself, you could give it to other people. You could transfer. You could upgrade it and sell it later on. Do whatever you want with it. But as soon as you do this, it's going to be yours. So I'm going to say, okay. So now that weapon is going to be definitely mine. So that's split beam rifle, and then this one is a normal phaser sniper rifle. Now for armor, a little bit different though. They do have a lot of different things. This is a kinetic one, so I'm going to just go ahead and put it into my slot there. Now the devices will be something like, give a fantasy term, will be healing potions or buffs, like different things like that, or basically like it'd be a shield heal, which your shields are these. Basically, it has 100 maximum shield capacity and fully regenerates after 3 seconds of not taking damage. And your shield is gonna be blue, and your health is gonna be green. So when you actually take damage, first it's going to go through the shield first, unless it has a penetrating type factor to it, where it ignores shields or does 30% more to your hit points or something like that, depending on the weapon. There's a lot of different weapons out there. And like I said, I'll go later on in more detail about what different types of weapons there are. But this is just to get you into the game itself. So every time you get shot, it's going to go through shields first, which is going to drop after 3 seconds, so it'll come right back up again. And then you have your health. So we have our armor and everything. We don't have any other officers to go and give my other stuff to, so that's not a big deal. But these will be your healing potions, or healing hypos, and removes the hold and stuns for 3 seconds. So if you're being held by, say, a monster through a mind meld or something like that, through some type of mind thing, you could click this and you gain 82.4 hit points, and also it will remove that hold and stun for 3 seconds. So you get out of that hold. That's the one actually is holding your character back. It happens in the game. It doesn't really happen that much per se, but some monsters are pretty tough about that. So now your main character can have 2 weapons, which are these 2 here, which then get represented by these 2 buttons right here. So when you go fire your weapon, all you gotta do is either click that, click with the left button, or you can switch out your weapon depending on what you want to have. This is the split beam like rifle. It's going to show in front here. This is going to be the sniper rifle. going to show like right there that as far as the special abilities of what it does. And then your heals, your small hypo, which is represented from here. Any devices will come up in here, and then when you go ahead and have your, this is to like resuscitate a person that's unconscious. So like let's say your friend is unconscious, you can go and resuscitate him and come back to life. He'll be at 25% health, and he's immune to all damage for 2 seconds. So most likely he'll probably hypo himself as the game progresses on there. So in essence, that is how stuff works. Anytime you put anything in your slots there, as far as weapons and then devices, it will come up right here. Now you could actually adjust these to be like a 3. So you have three different ones, and then when you want to go and adjust as far as like what it is, see, this is from the kit. This is from like when you had the kit. Remember, last episode was a kit, which is a mind barrier, a chronoton mind barrier. So basically, that's right here. Anytime you put anything in the kit, your powers will show up here. So you can move it around just by clicking this little hourglass, like kind of like a data pad type thing. So you're gonna view the abilities that you have. So now we can move it around. So I'm going to go ahead and move, say, the chronoton barrier by right-clicking, and then place it anywhere you want to. Normally, I have the top will be the attack. This will be defense. This is miscellaneous. That's what I normally do myself. That's a lot, but just depends on what you want to do. And then I move, say, my defenses. This is my attacks, and I move this back here since it's miscellaneous. Normally, I keep this also because this is your to go headbutt somebody, or to go ahead and hit someone with your fists or with your rifle. Now, to arm your rifle, just hit this button here, and you want to go ahead and use your rifle to go ahead and hit somebody there. It does a little bit of damage, not too much, but generally it's good to knock people back to go get them away from you. So anytime you have these, you can change these around, like say the mental discipline, break free from confuse and placate. So move that over here to a heal type thing. So anytime that happens, I just hit that button, and then it has a recharge of 4 minutes. It's kind of like all the other different games, like Star Wars Online, World of Warcraft, where it has a button, has a timer that you need to go ahead and have. Now, in order to go ahead and stop, let's say you accidentally hit this or move it around or screw with it, basically, you lock down the tray, so you can't move anything. I'm trying to move stuff here. Can't move anything for that. So that's basically what you do for your drag skills to tray, and that's how you do that. Now you can adjust it to be whatever you want to. So you can adjust to 4 or 5, whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. Just kind of play around with this a little bit, and then you get to holster back your weapon back to your person. Now to make it so you don't show like a big ass honking gun there, you just hit this button here, and they'll stop that gun from being on your back. Now that will stop that from being there, so you look like a normal Starfleet officer instead of some guy lurking through the hallways with a gun. So that's how you do generalization of ground items. Like I said, I'm doing these to go and help out the new players. A lot of questions happen that I get asked, a lot of questions that I hear being asked other players and my friends and everything about how to do this, how to do that. So this is for the new players out there. If you're a vet, teach the new players how to go play. Teach them how to go do all the different tricks that we know to go ahead and help them out in the game. Because the game is a very, very good game as a free-to-play game. So help them out. Basically, if you're a vet and you watch a couple of these, you go, oh, I know all this. Basically, cool. That's awesome, man. Thank you for watching too. But definitely help out like other people as well. Anyways, I want to say thank you for watching my YouTube videos, and I'm planning to probably have about 30 or 40 of these at starting to make more and more as the time progresses, because I can make a couple of these a week, hopefully trying to knock them out in a couple of weeks. But thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you watching, and I know you can watch other ones, and thank you for watching mine. And remember, you are what makes this game great. Next episode will be about space gear.